was taken. I know it's probably not, but just for example. And then you're going to come back to us and say, well, we know at the Black Swan, the surface of the water doesn't curve. And then we're going to get back into the fight about refraction. So what these guys are asking you to do is skip over all of that fight and just tell us why the shadow is curved.
Yeah, exactly.
The moon is.
Are you watching my stream, Kimo? It's very clear what's happening here. My stream.
That's true for the cycles of the moon.
This is not what we see for a normal phases of the moon.
But Kimo, was I right? Did I kind of get where your argument was going?
We see a
I just
curved
want to be able to pinpoint
shadow on the moon
shadow,
because it's
like what's going here. So there's obviously
a sphere.
Top part, the sagittar, the apex there is a country somewhere. So we should be able to map the shadow basically. This is this part of the earth, and that is that part of the earth, so on and so forth.
It's an ocean. What if I tell you it's an ocean? What are you going to do with that information?
Obviously, we know that the moon is curved, so if the moon is losing light, it's going to curve in that fashion. Why wouldn't it?
It's a full moon, it goes to a non-full moon, then back to a full moon in one night. That's not a normal phase system of the moon, is it?
You don't understand how the sky works, do you?
Oh no, you don't have a clue.
You don't.
Neither do you.
We do.
How do you know?
So there you go.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Nice.
Why are you talking to Kimo like he's a rational person?
Oops.
What I'm showing you, Kimo, is a
he
spherical object is casting a spherical shadow over the moon.
I'm actually working on that video, Sheeple. I should hopefully have it out by either later on today or tomorrow.
Yeah, sure.
Lunar eclipse are very simple. The moon makes its own light. The light.
Yeah, but why does the light change depending on where you're at on the Earth?
What do you mean, depending on the way?
Exactly.
You got any evidence that the moon generates its own light?
Oh, of course, yeah.
The orientation of the moon is different. The angle at which the moon gets
got the old
blocked.
nighttime rainbows.
But that doesn't prove that the moon's generating its own light.
How'd you get a rainbow with refracted light or reflected light?
Why are we talking about rainbows?
It's just light.
Not direct light.
Though. Why would it reflecting off something suddenly alter it?
Not direct light, is it?
Well, I'm sorry. Does it have to be direct light?
Do you think you can shine a torch into a mirror and create a rainbow?
Did I say that?
Yeah. How'd you get a
No,
rainbow with reflected
I'm
light?
sorry, I didn't say that at all.
How'd you get a rainbow with reflected
These evasion tactics. Going to a rainbow.
Like evasion, obfuscation. Let's talk about rainbows instead of
going
the
to
shadow
a
on the
rainbow. We're talking about a lunar eclipse shadow.
No, not just a rainbow. This is a moon bow.
But we're not talking about that.
We're not talking about that
either.
Holy shit! Sorry.
So
You
evidence
said
that
moon-
the shadow.
Wait,
so,
you said
Kimo,
moonbow?
let's see evidence that the moon
Moonbow.
creates its own light.
He thinks moonbows are evidence that the moon is generating its own light.
How can you create a rainbow with reflected light?
Just think about how fucking barking mad that is for a moment.
I'd love to see you try and demonstrate it.
I'd love to see you try and demonstrate
very
it.
desperate, Kimo.
What, because you can't create a nighttime rainbow with reflected light?
No, it's because we've got a shadow predicted onto the moon, predictable, testable, down to the second at which it would begin to happen, and you have no explanation to explain what that shadow is, because in your world it can't be the Earth, and in our model it is the Earth. So telling us that the moon has its own light, my friend, that's a positive claim that you now have to back up. So please present evidence for your positive claim that the moon has its own light and the moon creates the shadow with its own light during the lunar eclipse. Go. That's your job now.
Yeah, your job is to prove the Earth is curving.
No, I've done that. refuting your positive claim.
How have you done that? By saying, "Oh, look at this
Or should I
dark
just
area. That's
dismiss?
got to be
Should
the
I just
Earth."
dismiss it without evidence because I provided evidence?
No. How does it work on a flat Earth?
It doesn't.
What are you talking
Doesn't,
about?
and
Then?
that's not my claim. You asked for evidence of the globe. I give it to you. You give a positive claim to refute
What's
the
the
evidence.
of the globe? A lunar
Now
eclipse?
you must defend your claim.
You said
Okay?
lunar eclipse is evidence of a globe.
Lunar eclipse's
Yes.
shadow is the globe.
No, the lunar
Can you
eclipse.
prove that the shadow is
moon
the
has
globe,
its own
or is
light,
that an
and the
assumption?
light just.
Yes, we
dims.
can.
You've got no evidence of a curving surface with water conforming around the exterior without a force. Very simple.
Right. So
sheep.
are you
Try
going
to
to
look at the
present? Are
skies
you going to
before you
present
figure
your
out what's
claim?
below your feet.
Present evidence for your claim or not, Kimo? Are you going to retract your claim?
Yeah, water cannot
Very
conform around the
simple.
exterior
Very
of an object
simple,
without
Kimo.
a force.
No, we're not on that anymore. We're on your claim.
The claim is that.
See,
the
your
moon-
attempt and your weak-ass attempt at that to refute my evidence
Why don't you read the Bible and see
and
what that
my
says? Your
explanation
Bible.
of the
Have you
lunar
read your
eclipse.
Bible?
You've now put yourself. You've
Oh,
now
now
put
he's run
yourself
into the
into a
Bible.
positive claim.
Have you read your
Oh,
Bible, sheeple?
Okay.
Yes.
So please,
Ah, Sheeple's calling
write
God a
evidence.
liar.
The moon have its own light.
Interesting, Sheeple's. God a liar, is he?
Well, God wrote many scriptures,
Well, is
and
God lying
in
in
the
the Bible
Quran
when he
it
says
says
lesser light?
in the Quran it says that the moon is a lamp and the sun is a lamp and the
I'm
moon
asking
is
you
a
about the
mirror.
Bible and God. Is God wrong when he says it's lesser light?
Which God?
Oh, I'm telling you about scripture, Kimo.
There
I'm
you go, Sheeple.
going to use scripture. I see your scripture and raise you the Quran.
God debunks you.
I'm
Your
sorry.
Your God doesn't exist.
And again, let's not forget that the Bible was written back when we didn't have technology to actually know what the moon is.
Mm.
Still don't know what the moon is.
Yes, we do.
Right.
We're
Right,
fucking
so
language
Kimo,
people,
you
aren't we?
need to provide evidence that because you said you have evidence, right? That's your claim, so you shouldn't say anything, especially a positive claim like the moon is its own light and the moon causes the shadow during the lunar eclipse. Those are two positive claims that
do you ever
await
hear
your
of problem
evidence.
or something? My evidence is a moon bow. Direct light
Okay,
creates
explain it.
rainbows.
Explain it.
That still doesn't explain it.
Direct light
It doesn't explain the
creates
shadow.
a rainbow. Not reflected
Problems focusing,
light.
or is this just your evasion again?
It's evasion.
You cannot create a rainbow with reflected light.
Right,
Please.
so please
Try
focus
shine a
on the
torch.
shadow.
Shine a
You-
torch into
I
a
know,
mirror
I know it's hard.
and try
I
to
know
make
it's
a rainbow
hard.
with the light coming from the mirror.
Kimo,
Not
please.
possible.
Okay.
So you've been debunked. Did a little
No.
lunar
I'm
eclipse.
waiting
It's
for
not
your
very
evidence.
strong. It's one of the
We're all
weakest
waiting for
parts
your
of
evidence to explain the lunar eclipse on a flat Earth, Kimo. And when you said it's because the moon has its own light, you now need to provide evidence that the moon is its own light.
Well,
Go.
first of all, we've got the Bible, as I said, and then we've got light is colder than the shade
What?
with the magnifying
Doesn't.
glass.
You still think
That-
that moonlight's cold? What the
Yeah,
fuck?
there are
Okay,
plenty
now
of,
let us
experiments to show this.
remind the listeners, Kimo, of
Yep.
the devices used to measure that temperature. Would you like me to tell them, or will you?
It's up to you, but there are numerous experiments that show it's colder in the moonlight than it is in the.
Right.
Funny
And
how that only
what
works when-
measurement
for flat earther
devices did they
videos.
use? What measurement, Kimo, did they use to measure that temperature?
Well, how else do you measure temperature?
Yeah, what type of thermometers did they decide to,
How else
you
do
know,
you measure
use?
temperature? What do you know of that you measure?
Yeah, but what did they use?
Yeah, but what do you measure temperature with?
Okay, you're not gonna say they used meat thermometers.
Well, all of them.
Meat thermometers.
All of them.
Now, if no
Are
one
you saying
Wow.
all
anyone
of
doesn't
those
know what a meat
experiments were
thermometer
using meat
does,
thermometers?
you stab it into the meat,
Was it digital or
Hell
analog?
yeah.
Well, I thought they used the laser
you-
sheeple.
and you
What kind of,
contest
what
the
kind of rockets
internal
are they living in
temperature of
there in
your
New
meat
Zealand?
while
I
it's
thought They
cooking.
use a laser and they fire the laser
How
at
hot
the
is
different
my
areas.
meat?
Sheep. You're a bit dim today, sheeple, aren't you? Hey, losing the plot.
The
Hey,
Globers, Chemo, use the thermometer gun and thermometer camera and
Yeah.
proved with their Mylar tests that no,
right?
you were wrong.
So the globe Earth has also showed it's colder in the light, in the moonlight.
No, they
No,
haven't. Stop lying.
showed the complete opposite, Chemo.
That's because you're using chicken thermometers.
No, they use
What?
proper
Use a
thermal
laser.
cameras and laser dot thermal guns.
Wait.
Proper
Brian Mullins,
equipment.
the engineer,
Not
did it.
eBay meat thermometers.
What
2
engineers
for
do you have
£6.
that did it?
Kimo, what?
Hold on.
What do you mean
Sheeple,
cold
name
light?
one engineer
No, I want to
that did this
understand.
experiment.
What's cold light?
Sheeple,
what is
name
cold light?
name an engineer that did this experiment on your side. Brian Mullins did this. Let's see one on your
Can't
side.
remember his
Which
name.
engineer did it
Can't
on your
remember
side?
his name.
Apart from
remember.
your thief, Sean Hufford.
I can't remember his
notice
name.
Who else
He's
apart from
moved
your
the entire
scam artist,
discussion
Sean Hufford, did this
right
experiment?
away from the lunar eclipse.
Yeah, we're well away
Didn't Greater
now.
Sapien do this one?
But this is part of it.
People, apart from Sean Hufford, your scam artist,
Greater
who else?
Sapien did one.
What engineer did the moon experiment?
Can't remember his name.
Greater
I remember,
Sapien did this.
remember the scam artist, Sean.
The
doing it,
Greater
yeah?
Sapien.
Yep, Greater Sapien.
He used to be on Jose's show. He was like a electrician person.
Post the
Who was
link
that
then, let's
guy?
have a look.
Oh, Carlos?
Carlos.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Gives a look.
yeah.
There's
He did it.
there's an Answers in Genesis where they tested it.
Anyway, point is,
Yeah, what
is
did they
that the
find?
lunar eclipse is explained because the moon has its own light. The moon
It doesn't have its own light, it's
for a
reflected
period,
off, it's reflective.
and then regains
Oh,
its
Yeah,
light
how do you
after a period.
prove, Chemo, that the moonlight is not being reflected off the sun? How did you remove that?
He didn't.
I told you a nighttime rainbow proves direct light.
No,
from the
nighttime
moon.
rainbow.
No,
Nighttime
yeah.
rainbow?
Something that looks like a rock also.
Like they're
produces
called
can make a
called
rainbow using a mirror.
lunar bows or lunar rainbows. or
All right.
night
Well,
bows.
we've seen that you don't have anything to offer. You have no refutation for the shadow caused during a lunar
shadow.
eclipse. You can't deny that it's a spherical shadow, or at least
You're just
a
repeating
silhouette
the
cast by
indoctrination. It's
a
not a
spherical
shadow.
object. It
So why
fits
does it
the
go on and off on
ratio
that one
and
day?
size of the known Earth.
Oh,
and
you sounds. That's not sounding like a baby.
Unfortunately,
Not a shadow.
Chemo,
You can't prove
your
it's the Earth
evidence
shadow.
is all hearsay because you're just talking to me. You're not presenting anything for me to look at.
Well, prove then the sun is reflecting the light. It's shining the light on the moon. Prove that, and we can go with it.
You want to prove something that simple? Are you serious, Chemo?
Dude, I've got a
prove it.
video of the sun and the moon in the sky at the same time.
Yeah.
So
It's a lesser light.
how could the moon not
No, that's
be
celestial
being hit
light,
by
you
the sun at
idiot.
that moment?
It's a lesser light, duh.
He's just making shit
Oh,
up.
so you're quoting the Bible now.
Here we go again.
He's always quoting the Bible, even though he says he doesn't quote the Bible. He
That's
quotes
right,
the Bible when he
Hufford
wants
part. You
to.
got the
This
scam
is what
artist
Flat Earth
forever.
has got to offer. Chemo's evasion tactics.
All
is
you
their
have
only
to offer
thing
is a
left.
scam artist who did an experiment, stole money from you, and gave you misinformation. Now, if
And when was the
moon-
last time he was here in the server?
I can't believe Chemo's got the
If
balls
the
to call
moon
somebody
is
a scam
being
artist.
reflected,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
reflecting light off
The
the
scam
sun,
artist would know a scam artist if he met one.
then you have to prove that wild claim, sheeple. How
I
on
mean,
earth?
Chemo just spends all
Why,
day.
why
Well,
would the
you could do it
sun light up the moon in the
Chemo,
first place?
you could do this yourself. Why don't you fucking do it yourself for a change?
Do what?
This is awesome, Chemo.
Do this
Not a bad
experiment
one.
with the moon. Prove it's not. Prove it's cold or not.
It's
Been
not
done
about
by
him.
the engineers,
He
the
do-
experts.
He doesn't do
It
anything.
has, and guess what?
Riley
They've proven
is
that
not an
it's not
engineer or an
cold. You
expert.
idiot.
So can you demonstrate then that the light from the moon is from the sun?
You do it
Yep.
yourself.
Yeah,
Kimo,
sheeple, let's have a
what
look.
do you mean? What do you mean by cold light? I want to understand this code
You,
concept.
you
Yeah,
think
What does
it
it
does.
the
mean?
sun lights up the moon and then creates a rainbow at night?
What?
Kimo, I asked what is cold light? What does it
Yeah,
mean?
well,
Oh,
Cold
here we
light.
go. What does what mean? What does mean?
What does cold light mean?
Yeah, but first of all, what does mean?
Bollocks to this.
What do you
Don't
mean
know
by the
what
word
mean
mean?
means.
What does it mean?
If you
Oh,
don't
goodness.
know what means,
I don't know what it
don't be.
means. I don't know what you mean by
We'll
saying
learn
mean.
English.
But what do you
I-
mean by
I-
mean?
I don't understand what cold light is. What does it mean, cold light?
Hold on, you said the word understand. What does that mean?
He's
Kimo,
saying
if you
that
don't
the
understand these
moon.
words in English, don't
He's saying,
be here.
Chaiki, that the moon is its own light, and instead of giving off heat, gives us cool
What
air.
does mean?
Cool
What's the definition
light.
of
Well, what does it mean? Gives us cool.
When you give
what
the
does it
definition
mean
of
called light? Light, as we know it, is energy.
Okay, mystical
Okay.
one.
So you mean that the moon has negative energy?
My
Is that
first
what you
wish.
mean?
Have a
Is
magic
that what
carpet.
you mean? Because we can take a solar panel to the moonlight and, let's say, run a motor on it. That means it has energy, not negative energy.
What does all this mean, Chike? You can define every word.
If you don't understand basic physics, that's what it means.
Define every single word you just said, Chike. Before.
Oh, shut up,
Energy.
KIMO.
That's a reasonable
Whoa.
response.
Well,
The
I need to
energy
know that
He
he
said
knows
you
what
can
he's
take
talking
a
about.
solar panel. Kimo,
This is
he
where
said
it's come
you can
to.
take he said you can take a solar panel and use moonlight to generate enough electricity using the solar panel to run an electric motor.
I don't know. I didn't claim that.
How is that possible if moonlight is cold?
I don't know. I didn't say that.
Nah.
You're asking me stuff about I don't know about solar panels. I didn't bring up solar panels. I brought up
You know,
rainbows.
we know that something that gives energy can only create
Damn.
heat. Doesn't create cold.
Damn, you better
Cold
take
is
those.
not a thing.
So there doesn't seem to be much point in being involved in an argument, Kimo, if you're just going to reject everything that's presented to you on the basis that you didn't already know about it.
I'm not rejecting anything. I'm
You
saying
better take those solar panels and cover them up at night, KIMO, because they'll suck energy out of the grid.
Demonstration on. Let's have a look. I don't reject things.
Just dismissed it as I don't know anything about that.
So let's
and
have a
therefore
demonstration to see what he's talking about, and then we can learn about it.
Well, why does he need to demonstrate that?
You're just going to preach at me.
I mean, you could. I mean, do you deny that occurs?
I said I don't know. There's no denying. Give a demonstration. Let's see what you know what you're talking about.
Well,
Let's
he's
move
told
forward.
you that it's true.
Well,
Demonstration's
why
not
don't
going to help you.
Yeah, why don't you entertain the hypothetical for some?
Yeah,
I don't
fine.
know.
Okay, let's go with it. Hypothetical.
Okay, so how do you explain it then? If it's true,
Then it must mean the moon is not. It doesn't have its own light.
Okay.
okay.
Yeah.
So, as a truth seeker, this is something you could easily test, right? You could get a little electric motor and a little solar panel for, I don't know, 20 quid or something. Who knows? Not very much money.
Okay. I don't get where this is going. I don't get the point of it.
Oh, you're the truth seeker. We know how it all works. You're the one that doesn't know how any of this stuff works, right?
I don't know why he's talking about solar panels. What's this got to do with the price of chicken?
You don't know what a solar panel is.
But what's he got to do with what I'm
Right,
talking
so
about?
you do know what he's talking about when he says a solar panel, then, don't you?
But what's he
You
got
know
to do with what I'm talking about?
That's the name of an object, and you know what that object is.
But not
So
to
what
do with
more
what I'm
is there to
talking
know?
about. I don't know where the connections is what I'm talking about.
Oh. You realise that a solar panel is capable of generating electricity. That is its purpose, its only purpose.
Okay.
Right?
It is.
From light.
Okay.
So he's saying he's able to generate enough electricity to run a small electric motor from moonlight.
I think we should kind of ignore that example because it's not true. But in theory, you could definitely light up an LED or something like that. You wouldn't be able to run a motor unless.
I think you would if it was small enough. There's some really tiny motors.
Well, on a full moon light, I just looked it up. It's 6 milliwatts per square meter of energy. So you take a 20% solar panel, that gives you 2 milliwatts. And so with a panel that's 1 square meter, you'd only be able to run a motor with 2 milliwatts.
So yes, Chike.
You definitely light up an LED with it, though.
Yeah.
Yes. I didn't know that. I didn't know that.
But
now we know that.
if the moon has cold light, it would suck energy out, wouldn't it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Hold on a minute, Kimo. Here's a website. Electric motors, 1 milliwatt to 20 milliwatts.
Yeah, I guess if it's small enough, yeah.
There you go. You
I
can
didn't
run
know
two.
that, but again, that wasn't my argument. That's not my point. You tend to tell
No,
Chikey
it's your argument. You just don't understand your argument.
You were just celebrating 3 seconds ago.
Yeah, I didn't know.
You don't
that.
understand your argument, Kimo.
Chikey asked the question. He got the answer. Let's move forward.
No, you didn't get the answer. It disproves your whole thing about cold light, you dummy.
That's not how you disprove cold light. First of all, second of all, you don't need to power anything. You can just test the amount of energy you're getting. This is a test that we talked to what is his name, Citizen Z about a long time.
Greater Sapien, the guy said we did it the first place. Thank you.
Well, no, there's a flat earther named Citizen Z, and yeah, it's supposed to get I think like one.
Look, Greater Sapien is another con artist who stole $20,000 from the people. I'm not going to trust a scam artist to do an experiment.
Greater Sapien is way smarter than you are.
Greater Sapien was the greatest scammian.
Guys, he paid all that money back though, Kimo, so it's hardly as...
Oh yeah, that's the story to save face. He's the greatest scammian who scammed about the North-South and then did an experiment. We're not going to believe that, not for 1 second.
He paid the money back, Kimo.
Oh yeah,
where's the receipt that says keep it?
And wasn't he the one that was scammed?
Just because you say so, you've got to. This is called
damage
damage
see the people that said thank you for paying the money back. You can go look on his web pages.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he did. That's a likely experience. Why did he pay it back? Why not just go on the trip next year?
Hey, wasn't he the one that was scammed though? Didn't someone steal the money from him?
No, he's
I don't.
Yeah.
Let's not go on with this. I didn't bring Greater Sapien, dude.
The plane ride was never going to happen because the plane ride was a scam, and he paid the people back with his own money when he realized that was.
I don't believe that. Show the receipts.
Well, go look and see all the people thanking him.
No, I'm not going. It's your claim. Provide the proof.
He's got to reject everybody that disproves his religion.
It's not that interesting, guys. It's not that interesting, Kimo, that you want to deny it. You deny everything, and it's hard.
It's all right.
Fine, you can't provide the evidence.
NASA, can you not interrupt me when I'm finishing my sentence, please, sir?
See, NASA, it's not me. It's your own global guys.
Wow, it's related to cold light.
No,
don't let him get away from it. Don't let him get away from it by changing the topic.
I'm just saying that his own people stop him from talking.
You can do it yourself. Get yourself an infrared thermometer and do the freaking experiment yourself. I know this is anathema to you because you'd actually have to do something.
We've had an engineer do it, Brian Mullins. It's been done all over the flat Earth.
Do it yourself, and you can prove that it's.
I don't need any of that. I believe in God. God
didn't get a chance to finish what I was saying because somebody else brought up Greater Sapien, and then you guys ran on about that for a second. I was in the middle of saying something.
You've got to prove.
That's fantastic. That's fantastic, Kimo.
Kosho, let Kosho finish, please.
I didn't bring up Greater Sapien. I didn't bring up Greater Sapien. What I'm telling you is that you can test the energy coming from the sun, from the moon, using just a simple reader in a solar panel. Okay, and that's besides the point when you're talking about cold moonlight. To test that, all you have to do is get 2 Tupperware containers and blacken one out, cover it up with cardboard or something like that on the inside, and keep them both out in the same place. That way, one of them they're in the same location. And you're gonna ease all the questions about radiative cooling or anything like that. That's all you have to do. But that's the only reason why people get weird results because they're doing them in different locations.
Okay. Say so. We say experiments at our disposal is that the moonlight is way colder.
It's not, you fuckhead. Just do the frick experiment. NASA, for fuck's sake.
NASA. Come on, dude.
It's colder on the moon. Yeah, it's colder on the sun.
They don't like you paying NASA shit.
Here we go.
Kimo, would you accept the findings of the researchers at Answers in Genesis? Specifically, a Dr. Danny Faulkner. Who holds an MS in physics.
He obviously won't. Danny Faulkner's a savage anti-flat earther.
Danny
Faulkner definitely won't accept anything he's done.
Kimo, this is not explaining how the shadow happens, though. Okay.
Stop saying shadow. You've got no evidence it's a shadow.
We do have evidence it's a shadow.
What's the evidence?
It's not a shadow now. I just played an 8-minute video of the lunar eclipse. clearly a
The
shadow.
moon was losing its light. So what?
You moved to. Are you living in Egypt now?
The
Are
evidence
you living in Egypt, Chemo?
Have I been
The
to
evidence
Egypt?
is-
No,
You're
I
right
haven't
by
been.
denial. I mean, denial ain't just a river in Africa, for fuck's
Thank
sake.
you for that, NASA. Thank you.
No,
It's
let's
really
stick
important
back to the
keep
moon.
denial
The
a joke,
moon
that we
is
brought it
losing
up.
its
Hey,
light.
you know, someone's got to tell Chemo he's full of shit.
Well,
You
how
guys go
about you
sit there
let
and-
me? How about you let me tell me full of shit with actual argument, which is the evidence for the reason that we know it's a
because he
shadow.
doesn't give a shit about
NASA,
evidence. You've been giving him evidence for a fucking hour.
NASA, do you think you're getting anywhere with your insults? It doesn't work.
It
Chemo.
works better than you giving him information. He doesn't give a shit.
Chemo. So the evidence that we know it's a shadow is very straightforward. It's super straightforward. We can look at where the sun is. We can look at where we are, the Earth. We can look at where the moon is, and we can see direct line of light. We can see that the shadow is being made by the object that's interceded between the light source and the target. It's that simple.
No, it's not. Because the sun or the moon would have to go below the geometric horizon.
That doesn't make any sense. You literally can just look at the line of things.
But if they're going to line up all along each other, one of them would have to go below the horizon.
It's not really true. I don't know why you said that. They're lined up. There's nothing to do with
see
horizon.
the horizon shadow going to
Everybody
on the
has
moon.
a different horizon. So what are you talking about?
So what is that on
people-
the moon? That's not the horizon.
It's the edge of the Earth.
Exactly. That's your physical geometric
It's a claim.
edge.
That's not so. That's maybe somebody's
It's just-
horizon.
it's just
So the
fear. It's not
horizon.
fear.
Everybody has a different horizon. So the
I'm glad
point
you
is,
just said that.
when you-
Nathan's gonna
hold
know
on,
that.
Kimo. The point is that when you see the light source, you see the target. You look for the where you want to know what's creating a shadow. Well, you look for the thing in between. What's in between? The Earth. What's the shape of the Earth? You can tell by looking at the moon.
No, it's only curved because the moon is curved. Losing its light, curving around the moon.
Kino, I posted one image from the Liar's NASA of the thermal image of the moon and a video, not from the Liar, another Liar, that filmed the moon with the thermal camera. Both show the moon is hot.
No, my evidence for the moon
No,
in its own
both
light.
show thermal camera. It's something that show you the temperature of something.
Yeah, but nature
Both
tells
show.
us.
So how can something that is hot emit cold light? Kimo, what kind of nonsense are you talking
I
about?
don't know what devices you're using.
A thermal camera, I told
You
you.
cannot have a rainbow with
You have a real
light.
problem understanding words, Kimo.
I have a problem
Or
with
know
that
the
because
world around
unless
you.
you can show a rainbow with reflected light, you're talking nonsense.
I'm talking about the moon in a thermal camera. Thermal imaging of the moon. Kimo.
No.
Thermal. That means heat.
He's doing everything
You
to
don't
not
just
talk
have
about what
one
you're
hot light in the sky. That's not how it works.
Well, it's not a light.
You don't have a cold light
It's
either.
not a hot light in the sky. It's a hot object in the sky that emits light.
Yeah.
What is your point?
Point
My
is, you don't explain the shadow during the lunar eclipse. That
Not
was
saying
the
that
whole
you've got
question.
no evidence it's a shadow.
Right.
Yes, we do.
What evidence?
Here, the thermal imaging of the moon, Kimo. It's hot.
Where's the evidence it's a shadow sheet?
In the
You know-
thermal
Oh my
imaging,
God.
you
No,
get
what
a-
a shadow looks like.
Have
What
you
we're
never
looking
seen
at
a
there,
shadow?
Like Veach said, is the physical edge, the geometric edge of the ball, which we don't have. Where is that?
Who says who? Who says we don't have?
I
On
just
Earth,
played
we
a
cannot
video of
locate
it,
the
Kimo.
geometric edge ever, anywhere, anytime. Never
Of
see
course
it,
you
never
can.
measure
You
it,
can
not
always
possible.
look at. You can
Somehow
always-
the
Played a video
moon
of it.
can see this geometric edge that we
You
can't
can
measure.
always locate. You can always locate a geometric horizon. Always, and the geometric horizon is every spot on Earth for somebody. No matter where you are on Earth, that might be a geometric horizon for somebody, depending on where they are.
Okay, so you don't understand the argument.
I don't think
You don't
do.
understand, Kimo. The question is, what causes the shadow if it's not Earth?
What
You
makes you
say
think
it's
it's-
the
why do
moon.
you think it's
We
a shadow?
challenge that and say it can't be the moon. You
Why
say
do you
it's
think
just
it's a
powering
shadow?
itself down.
There's no buildings on that shadow.
Good
Okay,
point.
thank you.
No
Do
mountains,
you
no
really
nothing.
expect to see buildings? Come on, man.
Oh, come
The
on.
hell
dude.
did you just say, dude?
What makes you think it's a shadow? That's the question. Why do you
Kimo,
think it's a shadow?
look at the picture.
Because
Look at the
it's
picture I just
light
posted.
source.
What What's creating the shadow on Kimo? What's creating the shadow on the basketball court?
I think that's a shadow because we can see the object
when the
where
light
it's
lands on the
coming
moon.
from.
Kimo. When the light lands on the moon,
shadow
when
is
the light,
coming from the earth.
Kimo, when the light lands on the moon, obviously, if the moon's circular, it will give it a curved shadow. You will get a curved shadow on a flat surface that's curved.
No, that curved
the moon could be
surface
curving.
is from the moon's curvature. As the
That's what I'm saying.
light
That's what I'm
dims
saying.
away, it curves around the moon. Normal.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
So I'm
That's
asking
not what
I'm
happens.
asking Sheeple, why does he
That's not what
think
happens,
it's
though.
a shadow
The
from the earth?
moon, the moon rises and the shadow goes in front of the face of the moon.
Show me
And
that.
when it gets to right over the top of it, it turns blood red.
Go on then, give us a look.
Well, you know it's a shadow. If you watched what's his name, Soundly's footage from 2019 in January when he taped the entire eclipse, or anybody else who did it,
Refracted moonlight.
he had had issues whenever it was entering the shadow because he had to change the settings on the camera because the moon was becoming less bright because it was entering the shadow. This is how you know it's entering a shadow: is the light that's hitting the moon. There's less of it.
That's not how you
I had
know.
the same problem,
Also,
Kojo.
we
I
have a
went
half
and
moon as
adjusted.
part of the moon's phases, right? Like
Exactly.
the shadow's straight.
Exactly, and that's not what we saw in the footage.
No, you don't know
see
how the
curved.
sky
I
works
see
or how the moon
I see
works.
curved ones. I see curved when I see a crescent moon, like half moons, quarter moon.
Oh, what about
You
the
get a full
picture I've
moon.
just
posted?
Well, again, you just don't know how the moon light works.
That never happened during the eclipse, and I played a video just before you got here, Brummy, of 8-minute clip of all the different videos that I took of the lunar eclipse. Clearly didn't
refracted
see
light.
that.
It's not refracted light, though, is it?
Didn't see that though. Didn't see a half
That got to
moon.
do with the price of cheese. Your claim is that any shadow cast on the moon has to be curved because the moon's curved.
No, not
No, it's
necessarily.
curved.
But you're claiming it's the earth.
And I'm showing you a straight shadow on the moon. So
Yeah, not necessarily. I mean,
no,
again,
that's a curve. That's a curved shadow. Looks exactly like the eclipse.
Yeah, and there's
You're
the
an
blood
idiot.
moon. How does that
You're an
happen in your world? Does the LED bulbs on the moon change color, Kimo? Is that what
so
happens?
is the moon, Earth red now, is it?
Yeah, it
Who
is
needs to
during
fix
the
that?
blood moon. Yeah.
Who's making all that noise with the chair? Is that you, Rummy?
Yes,
No.
Okay, all right, it's not you.
it is.
Yeah, it isn't anymore. So we'll let it go.
Definitely James. The new show he's got.
I still have no idea why Kimo tried to bring the geometric horizon into this whole thing. It's like he's trying to make the sun an observer on Earth.
Well, Veach said that's the geometric edge. That's all we need to know.
It's kind of like a Muslim who has to go and pray every 4 hours. He has to say geometric horizon every couple of hours, else
We know where the geometric
the godliness wears off.
We know where the geometric horizon is and the geometric edge is at all times. You know, there's never a mystery.
Oh, I
no,
love
he's
it.
got the
I love
geometric
that Veach
horizon
is
bug.
saying all of this. Geometric edge. Talking about edge.
The edge of the sphere.
The
Kimo, you're
horizon
trying to make
edge.
you're trying to make the sun an observer on Earth, and that doesn't make any sense. There's no reason to bring it up. It's just
Basically,
kind of,
it makes sense because what they're trying to say with the horizon, yeah, it's like, you know, that kid in Matrix that gives you the spoon. There is no spoon, but you can see a spoon, but they're telling you there's not one there. That's basically what the globe is doing, man, with geometric horizon.
No,
they're telling you it's there, but it's
stupid. Kimo.
there is no spoon.
We're not talking about that though, are we? We're talking about the lunar eclipse shadow.
Yeah.
Before you got here,
not
and
a
that's what this
shadow.
argument is about.
Bringing
If
up
not
the
the Earth,
geometric-
what causes the shadow? Do you have an answer?
Yeah, it's refracted light.
This is a knife.
Refracted light through the atmosphere.
There's absolutely 0 point in bringing up the geometric horizon when it comes to the eclipse, because the sun is not an observer on Earth looking towards the horizon. It makes absolutely no sense to bring
What
it up
about-
like it's a point.
Talking
The
about
sun
the
is
shadow
not.
of the Earth.
Yes,
Correct.
and guess
Yes,
what,
so
Kimo?
the
That's not
shadow
going to
touches the moon. That is the Earth, you're saying.
Kimo, you're trying to make it seem like the sun is on the surface of Earth, and that
Oh my God.
when you say it like this, it makes no sense.
What's wrong with this guy? Talking about the shadow on the moon.
Yeah, the shadow of the Earth.
Supposed to be of the Earth, right?
It is
Yes,
the
that's
Earth.
what it is.
And as Veach just said, that's your geometric edge.
Well, yeah, geometric edge. That's different than geometric horizon.
He's not sure whether you should
Only
say
in
it
an
or
eclipse.
not.
Only in an
I did say it.
Super straightforward. I don't know why you have trouble understanding this, Kimo. Why do you have trouble?
You said that's the geometric edge.
Yes, not the horizon.
Shadows. Hold on.
There's a difference between
How much difference is
Kimo. Shadows get bigger when they go for distance.
Let Scott finish, please.
It's important this point.
It's the difference. There's a difference between the edge, Kimo, and the horizon. It's the only thing I was adding there. And so it's not necessarily a geometric horizon. It is the geometric edge, which is to say that is the outermost edge of the sphere if you're looking at it from a distance or whatever. So you can draw the circle around that sphere, that edge right there. That's the geometric edge. And so, yes, that's the thing that's creating the difference between the shadow and light.
Shadows get bigger over distance. So what if the moon is so far away? Why don't the shadows completely consume it?
The half moon
because it moves into the shadow, then it moves out of the shadow.
Half moon's the bump.
Shadows don't always get bigger over distance.
Yeah, if the light source is bigger, if the light source is bigger than the object obstructing it, then the shadow gets smaller. Yeah, which is what we see with the sun. You can just go. You can go outside and do this right now and test it. Stick your hand up, and you'll see it's smaller the further away you get from it.
Well, the other thing is that it's your umbra that is smaller. The umbra is actually a little bit.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is a shadow casting off the Earth. The Earth shadow.
Right.
The moon's far away.
That's correct.
It will be smaller.
It's not like the moon's
Which
far
shows
away.
it's not a dark object in the sky, like Lemon would tell you, because the sky's not blotted out before the moon is. Which tells you that the stars are much further away. And the shadow can't affect them.
I'm no orbiter or anything like that, but I do think on both sides, the globe has came back pretty strong from how aggressively Flat Earth has been attacking with the Black Pool Swan. And you guys have come
dead, mate. You're fucked on that. You have no idea where the tower went.
Well, I mean, why haven't any of the flat earthers made this observation? It's kind of been ignored. It's pretty, it's pretty important.
Yeah, the best you have with the Black Swan is optical effect.
Carly Sunshine did and said that I can't remember what she said she saw. I think she said that she could see. It was at the big solar eclipse, and she said she could see the craters of the moon in the the ring of light. And the flat earthers tore her apart for that.
Okay, so Brummy, if that's not a shadow going across the moon, what is it? Because it only lasts for 5 hours and then it's back to a full moon again.
Let's start with the question.
Wait, Sheeple, can you send me those pictures, Sheeple? Like the actual overall pictures with the
Do you want me to upload the 600 megabyte video I sent?
Yeah, but just could you send me like the ones with the metadata, that way I can see like exactly what time, the timestamp on the picture.
That's what I'm going with this. I'm trying to say to him, I wasn't there to the picture, so I don't know the time and the date. I don't know what location we're at, where you were looking, east, west, north.
I'm going to show all of that. I'm going to show all of that in the video I'm going to make.
He also doesn't know what he would do if he had any of that data.
First question. Hey, can I speak, please?
No.
Romy, does it look like a shadow?
I was just saying, like, I have seen flat surfaces appear curved, and if you shine a straight light on them, the light will appear curved on a straight surface.
Never mind. The moon, the shape, does it look like a shadow that you'd expect to see?
I'd expect to see that if it was going through atmosphere. So as it goes through the air and it all refracts, the light changes color and stuff, and that's what we see on the moon.
That's the radius.
I wouldn't. I still think it would curve with just refraction itself. The waves would become longer.
A simple question.
Hold on. When things loom over the curve, they loom down, don't they? They curve down. So around, if it's over a surface and it would curve down, you probably would get a little bit of a curve.
Does what you see on the moon, both phases and eclipse, look like a shadow?
I mean, they do.
I mean, this guy here, he thinks fucking the antecedent to gas pressure to vacuum.
You
is
can't
gradient.
bring yourself to answer the question, can you?
Mhm.
Because you know the answer's yes.
Which question? Which question?
Which
He's
question?
asked you 3 times.
Sorry, go again. Go again. What?
Oh, what? You weren't listening.
Does it look
Listening
like
now.
a shadow? Does it look
Listening
like
now.
Go for it.
That
Go.
do
It's sometimes
both.
hard to digest what Chaiki says.
Oh, shut up. That's
Really
what you
not.
see on the moon. Both phases and the eclipse looks like a shadow.
Looks like a shadow.
What's the point?
The faces look like a shadow. What about it?
Do you agree?
Do they look
like
like
shadow?
Yeah.
Earth is a solid.
He says yes.
Okay, good.
and the eclipse?
Look, a shadow too.
Yeah. Because remember, Brummy, it took 5 hours for the moon to go from full moon back to full moon. And in that time, over the course of 5 hours, the shadow came across the moon. Then when it was completely lined up, it went red. And then it began to go the other way, back to full moon in one night.
It's incredible. Incredible.
Total lunar eclipse. Very
Completely
rare.
red or very dim red.
Yeah. It was
Amazing.
incredible.
That's
Makes
a
me want to
globe,
get a
guys.
telescope.
That's a globe. Cool. It's back over.
You back on the globe side?
Close the
How do you
server
know
down,
the
mate.
Universal Studios letters didn't cause the eclipse? They're orange and red.
So if I see something that looks
Oh,
like
look
a
at that.
shadow,
That's
why
beautiful.
should I suspect it's not a shadow?
What if people? What if there's aliens charging their spaceships?
See the what if?
When we get
what if?
ludicrous. When we get ludicrous.
How
What
do
if
I
it's
get
Aliens charging the spaceship, huh? That's a good one.
Speaking of which,
Flat
Fox
shadows.
News is on that bullshit.
At least
Fox
he's trying.
News is
I
perpetrating.
like flat shadows.
So we have trollers aliens now.
They're just like, oh
Totally
shit,
the
it's time
shadow.
for the lunar
just saying.
eclipse. Fire up the ship.
They're charging the ship up, but the sun's light in it. The sun's light gets absorbed, and that through the parallax of the moon, and that you know what I mean through the
Chai's
ether.
picture is amazing. Chai put the thermo image of the moon. Oh my goodness, that picture.
Can you explain to me the parallax of the moon, please? As you have been going in that area. Parallax of the moon. Can you
Well, the radiation belts between the amplitudes of the fucking the noon, not the noon, sorry,
Okay,
the eddy currents. You know the eddy currents between the fucking,
So the parallax is causing the shadow.
yeah, with the eddy currents radiating.
Eddy currents.
Yeah, the eddy
Okay.
current.
Eddy
I mean, you
currents
missed the
it's
swamp
creating
gas
shadows.
reflecting off Venus.
Yeah.
You missed the swamp gas reflecting off Venus. Pocket of swamp gas off
It's the
Venus.
half moon spot.
We were supposed to have like a hexagon
Can
hurricane
we
at the
see
top
eddy
of the
currents?
ground as well.
Can we see a demonstration of eddy currents causing shadows?
Magnetic currents are like really influencing the weather on Venus.
Sure,
There's
sure.
like
Can we have
there's a hexagon at the top.
demonstration?
There's a hexagon at the top of the one. I can't remember which one.
Saturn.
Is it Saturn?
Hmm?
Fascinating. Only
But
notice that you
we
know.
get hexagon snowflakes, right?
Only not to stay with the reality. They are invoking some shitty things, just to deny everything.
Oh, it's very funny though.
Unbelievable.
It's very funny though, Dakotas. We were just told that the moon somehow powers down during the lunar eclipse at the same time that the Earth, Sun, and Moon line up, but that's not what's happening.
They don't line
Just
up. Why do
incredible.
you think anything's
The
lining
planet-
up?
Listen,
Just
the planets
incredible,
and stars
Kima.
have aligned, man. The planets and stars have aligned. That's massive, for the planets to be aligned with us.
But that's why it's
When
not
we're
a
in
normal
alignment-
event. It's not something that we
that's what I'm
get every
saying.
month.
When something's in alignment like that, there's something.
Riley.
Like, I know, there's something bigger scale. We don't. That's like when
Yeah.
the eyes are open, the galaxy opens up at that point.
That's
It's
pretty
because
damn
of your
cool.
presupposition, Sheep, why you think it's the Earth's curve. You presuppose a ball.
Galaxies
But I'm
open up.
presupposed.
See
It's a
anything
logical
else there?
deduction, Kimo. The sun is on the other side of the Earth at the time this is happening.
Yeah, but if you had an actual measurement of the curvatures, then this would possibly be viable. Right now, it's a non-starter because you're guessing what's happening on the moon.
KIMO, shut up for 1 second. Galaxy, it's open up. What? What?
You gotta open your mind, bro.
What's he saying?
If you understand what
moon
you
is
say.
completely flat.
Oh my god. Guys, you are purely unbelievables. Galaxy is open up. Parallax creating shadows. I don't know what else magnet is creating shadows. Guys, do you hear? Do you know? Do you have the basic elements of what's happened?
Listen, the frequencies.
It's unbelievable.
Listen, the frequencies that they vibrate on, right? When on the intermolecular level, the way that they can transmit through, like, you know, entanglement. Like these are like high frequency, you know, instant transmissions of data, of information that are connected through
Down Lemon's diary this instant.
Oh my god, mate!
The electric and toroidal and stuff.
Oh, he's reading Witzit's diary now. Dielectric inertial plane.
So once again, this lunar nonsense is just bit you in the behind here, she.
No.
Yeah. You cannot explain a shadow on the moon. How is this nonsense?
Why do you think it's a shadow? Presupposing the ball, are we?
Don't act like you have an answer.
Because we know what shadows are, KIMO.
Yeah, but
that's
you're
why.
presupposing it's the Earth's curvature doing that.
They are.
And you make a positive claim that the moon is its own light and it powered down for some reason. And you still haven't provided anything but word salad.
You provided anything. You provided anything.
Well, we're just guessing, aren't we? What causes this phenomenon?
Oh, now you're guessing. You were claiming.
I haven't been to the moon, have
Let him breathe, man. Let KIMO talk, man. You're on his case, man.
I know.
I am on
his case. That's why.
Grammy, in your case, I didn't have the courage to open my mouth after you have been spoken here. I didn't have the courage to say a word. Just repeat what you have been said in those 5 minutes, and you're gonna have a conclusion because you're far away from everything. But it's happened truly in the physics level.
But we can
the
rule
physics
out
level. I know about physics, bro. I can tell you about physics, mate. Let me tell you.
Yeah. You explain it to me. Open up the galaxies and parallax is creating shadows, and yeah. You explain it very well for me. Don't worry. I have the picture.
Look, let me keep it simple. The atmosphere of the world, whether it's round or flat, would refract because it's going through a lot of atmosphere. The water droplets work as a lens, which would refract the light, which would bend it, warp it, distort it. Which way you get different variations of light, the red spectrum, as it distorted, and that would obviously go down because we know fracking goes down. So if it's going around all or through a large, plane of atmosphere, then the light would bend at that point.
Simple.
He didn't explain nothing, man. How it's simple.
That is quite simple.
Word salad doesn't mean it's true.
You don't understand it. I'm sorry. Like a glober says to a flat earther when they don't accept what's been explained to them, they just say, "Oh, you don't understand it." And I guess it's that one of them cases where the same for you at this moment. You don't understand it, and that's you say I'm saying words out of really it's not explained which part you don't understand. Did you know that water can reflect light? Is that something you want to contest? Is there a technicality in something that you disagree with?
How is this involved in what we're looking at with the lunar eclipse?
Because
I think that's where you've lost everybody.
It's the Earth's shadow.
KIMO, I don't think you can help.
What
Back
kind of
to
nonsense is that? The Earth
Earth
would have to have curvature to it.
KIMO, we need to start somewhere. Let's agree it's a shadow.
No. Shadow of what?
No. It looks like a shadow, KIMO.
You can't start. That's where you go wrong with the presupposition.
Anything but that.
No, because you can't start with the presupposition.
You can't start with logic.
I'm telling you what it looks to me.
It doesn't matter what you think it looks like. Can you confirm
No, I
it's
don't
a shadow?
think it looks like. Everyone in the world will agree.
Not about if the whole world agrees. Consensus fallacy. Don't be silly.
Brummy said it looked like a shadow.
Doesn't matter what it looks like. How can we confirm it's a shadow?
What is a shadow? A shadow is absence of light. What is absence of light? Shadow?
Well, Well, we don't know. We don't know if it's just the sky.
Look,
it's gone,
if something is blocking the light rays, from touching you, then you are absence of that light that should be touching you. You're not shadowed. Like you are just absent of light.
When there's no light, there's no shadow.
Same with the. Hold on. Same with the light that comes from one direct source. If you put it through a refracted light source, it will bend and warp like the lasers do. They change the trajectory. You get me? They bend because like the atmospheric effect affects them how they can.
Absolutely. So what is it that's blocking the light?
Well, the lack of light getting to that point.
No. You said something now that when they go through something, you said it. They refract, they diffract, they go all the different directions.
Yeah, glass, like the material. It depends. Any material that it goes through, it could be atmosphere, it could be glass, it could be water. It could most likely it's water because obviously you got the atmosphere's got a lot of water droplets in there because there's a lot of like the biochemical cycle, a lot of steam in the air, a lot of moisture.
Come on, where?
Well, it's kind of like steam. Can you where steam? Look outside.
Yeah, where are they? On Earth?
Yeah, on Earth.
Outside Earth? In space?
Lunar
where
eclipse,
is it?
Jikey, lunar eclipse. Don't forget, we're talking about
what
is causing this
whether
darker area on the moon.
So it's still Earth.
We don't know if it's the Earth.
I don't know. It could be the atmosphere and the lack of light get into it.
It's still Earth.
No, we don't know.
The Earth's atmosphere.
100%.
The Earth's atmosphere. Listen, not 100%. It could be the Earth's atmosphere working and lensing and warping the light that's traveling through it. And the lack of light that's reaching the object is causing a lack of light, which would be down warping, which would cause possibility of a perfect curve that we see.
Any evidence for that?
Look, Earth doesn't curve like that. Water cannot curve
If
like
it did
that.
what it did, what you say it did, we will observe everything, not just the moon, disappear or move or something. That doesn't happen.
Look, you just sound like a fundamentalist.
No, I'm being rational. If you look behind the moon, you will see stars. They are there.
You don't know what's causing that dark area, can we?
I know you don't know, Kim. You don't know, so don't speak
How
about
do
it.
you know?
I know what I see, Kim.
I know what I see. I see the light getting
Since
dimmer
I
and dimmer and dimmer.
shadow, and since I see a shadow,
No, you don't.
I see the light
nothing
getting
around.
dimmer. How are we going to
And
verify either story?
It looks like a shadow, Kima.
Looks like the light's going dimmer to
yeah, it looks. And what caused the shadow? By the shape of the shadow, we can say it's bigger than the moon.
Yeah, it looks like it's just getting dimmer to me.
Much bigger than the moon.
Looks like
Maybe
it's
you don't
getting
know
dimmer.
how I came to this conclusion. So why doesn't it blocks everything around the moon as well? Where is it? Why can't we see it?
It's just getting dimmer on one side.
Why?
It's a shadow, yes.
No, it's not a shadow.
Shadow is gradual.
Okay, prove it's a shadow.
Not edges.
Alright, fine. Prove it's a shadow.
It looks like a shadow, Kimo.
Who cares what you think it looks like? Prove it's a shadow.
What do you mean?
Prove
looks
it's
like
a shadow. How are you going to prove it?
It looks like a shadow. It's
Oh
a
my
shadow.
gosh.
So prove it's the light's getting dimmer.
You globers, you just like lost mind or something. It looks like a shadow. It looks like a shadow. It looks like a shadow. Yeah, prove that it's a shadow. It looks like a shadow. It looks like a shadow. A broken robot, a broken something.
That's how you learn things. You see one, you see something
You
once,
see one, yes.
and when you see it
something
again, you
once,
know
yes.
it's the same thing.
Same thing.
Guys, this has already been answered.
Romy.
Yeah. I don't know why you guys
It's
don't
a
even
shadow.
give them all
How
this
can we
shit.
verify it's
Give
a
it all
shadow?
to them. We don't know nothing.
Okay,
And now we don't know the
done.
map. So let's make a map. Or shut.
This was this.
Here's your
done.
model.
This
Here's
was
your
this
model.
was. Who's doing that? This was already answered earlier, man. You asked about the fucking shadow, dude. I told you watch any eclipse, like the one Stanley did. You see that the moon gets darker. It's first lit up as it's the full moon. Then it gets darker. It's losing its light from the sun, which tells you that it's in a shadow. It's obvious. Just look at the brightness of the moon.
Refractive.
Brightness it goes down.
Refractive.
Can you prove that, Coach?
refracted light.
Yeah, absolutely.
Go on then, I'm waiting.
Any reasonable person, KIMO?
I think it's obvious, Kosho, in your paradigm. You're skeptical. You're questionable. I think it's obvious.
We can give you all the facts in the world, and you'll just hand wave them away. So why do you care?
Fair, because you're lying to everybody.
No, we're not, Chemo. It only happens at full moon. It only happens certain times at full moon when the moon, the sun, and the earth are in a line.
Alright, Chemo, like I told you before, Soundly's camera malfunctioned. There's footage that he took. You can see that he had to start over. He had to pause the stream because his camera settings
Go on then,
he didn't adjust it for when it got darker.
Go on then,
because he
let's
didn't
have a
do
look.
that. Go and look up his. It's like a 500,000
I'm not
views.
going to
Soundly's
prove
channel.
your claim, Kosho.
Well, then you're not going to know. It's on Soundly's channel. You know where that is.
Oh,
It's
I
the
don't know
eclipse
where
of
Soundly-
January 2019. You know when that
timestamp
was.
is. So any of
I'll
that
do it
is
for you.
where your evidence lies.
It's on this website called YouTube.
Exactly.
Might have
For
heard of it.
days and days. Look,
It's
we
your
need,
university, KIMO.
we need real, tangible, full, demonstrable, all of that to have shadow. Not just because it's fixing your model. That's a reification fallacy.
Chemo, how many countries do you think took photos of it?
Here we go again.
But we have it. We have it in a black swan.
No, I don't even care if it's a shadow.
Testable, different angles and orientations,
I
different
don't get it, Chemo.
cameras, all of that testable.
Go ahead, Don.
Well, even
All
if
of
it was a shadow, I would still think maybe it's a pizza shadow. Like, I don't give a fuck if it's a shadow, bro.
We don't have to talk about pizza or shadow or
It's
anything.
not shaped like that.
In
Don.
reality.
Not a circle like that. So that's so because of the sun
I
going
don't know
around
what
in a
the shape of
circle,
it is.
creating out in the snow, the ice, so giving us a dry land. Oh.
Dry land, sun, the energy. Yes.
They're yet to prove that that's the Earth. They keep on just saying it's Earth shadow, Earth shadow. How can they just say that? Well, we know for a fact the Earth is plane. The sun and the moon are above us, never below us. So how did the sun and the moon get below that flat horizontal plane?
How do you know it's a fact, Chemo?
Sorry?
You said it was a fact. We know for a fact. How can you demonstrate the fact part of that? Can you factually tell us how that is a fact, please?
Because there's 70% water on the Earth, and we know water cannot.
Water, 70% of water on the Earth doesn't mean that we live on a plane. You said you had facts, Chemo. Please bring facts.
Hold on. We've been told that 71% water. That water cannot curve around the exterior of an object without a force.
Why can it not curve? Why can it not curve? You just said you're just creating strawmans here. You said you had a fact, not a strawman against the argument of it being on a globe. So you've literally reversed the burden of proof there by saying that it can't curve around a globe. You said you had proof of it being flat. You basically did do that
I didn't say
by
that.
saying that
I
it
said
doesn't
water
curve
cannot curve around the
around.
exterior of an object without a force.
So prove your claim.
Just pour water on a board.
Prove your claim.
It's been done. You've not seen Dow pour water on a
Prove
board.
that it's flat. You said you had proof that it was flat.
If it's soapy water, it'll stick to the ball, Chemo.
What's
You can
that
blow a
force- what
bubble
force
of
is
soapy
holding that
water around the ball.
What force is holding that water?
No. What you're doing? Listen, guys. What you're letting him do here is distract you by bringing it back to the globe.
Yep.
What he's doing is he's
that's definitely what I'm
reversing the
doing.
burden of proof. He's trying to get it back to it's not a globe, therefore it must
Randy.
be flat. So we asked him, can you prove that it's flat? He said he has proof that it's flat. So bring your proof of it being flat, not of it not being a globe. Go ahead.
I don't have proof of a flat Earth model. I prove
Proof
that
of flat. No, stop with. I don't have proof of the flat Earth.
water
That'll do right
cannot
there.
curve around the exterior
can't,
without a force. So we're not talking about I can't prove you the distances from one end to the other, model and reify it. No. But we know the physics of water cannot conform around the exterior without a force. We don't have a force. We know gravity is not a force. We know mass does not attract mass. How on earth would the water conform around that object in the first place?
So again, you're reversing the burden of proof as to why it's not a globe.
Absolutely.
Please present evidence.
Absolutely.
Please present evidence why it's flat.
We were told we're on a ball. We weren't told we're on a flat Earth. This is
Yeah, you keep going about the ball. You said you had proof of it being flat. Please remove the word ball and globe out of your mouth and concentrate on the words flat and tell us why it's flat.
Well, there's no elevation drop on Google.
That's nothing to do with proving anything. That is a globe Earth representation. You can't use that.
So that's a globe Earth of a flat Earth.
Yeah, that isn't proof that it's flat, KIMO. Please remove the words. Please remove the words globe and
Ranty,
out of your mouth.
what are you trying to prove? What are you trying to prove, Ranty?
I've already explained there'll be no
Someone unmute Johnny.
I'm holding KIMO's toes to the fire, holding his toes to the fire, and making him back up his claim. He says we know for a fact the Earth is flat. He said that. So, as a fact, I want him to produce his fact.
Yeah. Maybe he's talking about the real.
I don't care what he may be talking about. He made a positive claim. So please, KIMO, back up your positive claim there of it being flat.
What do you mean? Do you want a measurement? Do you want a model?
You bring whatever you want. It's your claim.
Well, I've just told you, there's no drop from elevation. That's one proof.
No, are you talking about
real?
Says who?
Says who? Says a model on. Says a globe Earth model on the internet. A globe Earth model on the internet says there's no elevation change, so you're going to use that as being a flat Earth proof. Is that right?
No, I've got a video where a surveyor says that water's flat.
You have to relax. Do you have a
So you have one video of one surveyor saying the water is flat, and that is your absolute fact, your claim, your absolute definitive claim that the Earth is flat, right? Because you have one surveyor that says it's flat.
Agreeing with me, what I understood.
Who's the expert?
Oh, I can give it.
No. So it's the surveyor then. So the surveyor, who you're claiming is now an expert, is telling you that the Earth is, well, the water is flat, right? And that's your sole claim to the Earth being flat.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, fair enough. That's your claim. We'll check it out. Post the link.
No, it's
Fair enough.
We saw the link.
1 sec.
Different day, same shit. KIMO, he said he pretends to see that the Earth is flat. Pretend.
I don't think so. It's a pretense. He made a claim. We have to understand. Do we have a?
I said he pretends that the Earth is flat. Pretends. It's not flat, but he pretends it's flat.
But I can tell you, we have a positive claim of measurement that you can measure.
Nobody care what you say.
Okay.
You are not. There is no geometric.
So the surveyor in this video says that the water is flat.
And you can measure any line to a
curvature is measured, and that's what we can science. So we can measure it and we can science it.
Okay, so your one and only proof of flat Earth is this video that you've just posted that is actually under your own channel by some surveyor that you've pulled out who says that the water is flat. And because of that, your whole worldview about the Earth being flat, this is based upon this one claim by this one surveyor. Is that correct?
No, I've already told you. I already tested with science if water can form. So I wanted to check with a surveyor if the water is flat, and this surveyor said, yeah, he confirmed my science, where water cannot confirm around the exterior without a force.
What's your science?
So we have the science where you pour water, you test the claim, and then you measure it, and then you have what more would you need, Ranty?
So yeah, so your claim, so you have this this surveyor, this one surveyor who's backed your original claim. You've asked him to check it out. He's saying that the water is level without any force acting upon it, correct?
It's
and
flat,
because of this, and flat. Because of this one surveyor, this is your one and only definitive factual proof of a flat Earth.
Yeah, because again, he confirmed what I thought to be through because I had observations of the flat horizon, so I wasn't sure. Then I checked with science, pouring water on a ball. Well, that didn't work. And then finally, I checked with the surveyor. He said it's flat. What else?
So you did what Dell did. You poured some water on a ball. It didn't stick to it.
Mm-hmm.
You went to a surveyor and you asked him, and he happened to agree with you.
Try to listen. So I went out to the beach, seaside, and I saw flat horizon. So because we're told you can't trust your senses, do some science. So I then did a test by pouring water on a ball. It didn't stick to the ball. So just to double check, then I went and asked the surveyor. The surveyor said the water's flat.
Okay, and based upon that, your whole worldview is that the Earth is flat. So if that can be disproven, let's suppose this one video that you've posted and the guy that made the claim and your little, small scale test can be debunked, then does that mean you're going to be back on the globe side then? If this is your one and only proof?
Yeah, if my proof, you got to prove with science, gravity, force.
No, we asked you. You said you knew for a fact that the Earth was flat.
Yeah.
You've presented this argument as being your one and only factual proof. My claim is that not my claim. My question is that if we can prove that this is incorrect and not right, then are you going to default back to the globe then?
No, because wasn't my one and only.
You have nothing else.
That wasn't my one and only proof.
Oh, right. So you have more, right? Okay, there you go. Right, carry on. Tell us the rest. Tell us your factual proofs.
But I told you 3 things.
What 3 things? You didn't say 3 things. You said 1 thing.
I said an observation where we see a flat horizon, where it looks flat.
No, that was all part of the 1 thing that you said. This is how I came to this conclusion. This is how I came to this conclusion. We went and we saw a flat horizon. So what I did is I got a ball and I poured some water on it and it didn't stick to it. So then what I did is I went to a surveyor and I asked him, hey, do you know what? The water didn't stick to this ball. Does that mean water lays flat? And he agreed. So that's your 3... Yeah? That all based upon the 1 argument from the 1 guy that backed up the original assertion.
3 separate things. 1 observation.
Your observation, in your eyes, so it's your personal opinion by your personal observation.
Yeah.
So by your personal observation that you believe you saw a flat horizon, right?
Yes.
And then based upon that, you poured water upon a ball. Obviously the water didn't
based
stick
upon
to it.
that, I thought, well, if the Earth is curving, it would require a force to keep the water on. You need science for that. That was my next step. And then you pour water on a ball, and then you realise the water doesn't stay on the ball, so you rule that out. Not that.
Okay, so let's just back that up. So your claim of science, the way you scienced it, this argument, whether or not water will stick to a ball, was by pouring water on a small ball.
On a basketball, yeah.
Okay. And that was how you scienced it, flat Earth style, yeah?
Well, I just tested, yeah. That's what the claim was, that water sticks to a ball. You test it, and you find out it doesn't.
Okay, well, that seems like proper flurf science, to be fair. I'm not going to argue with that. I mean, that's what most flurfs would do. Dell did it, right? So
what everyone would do, if you're going to test the claim of water sticking to a ball, then you pour water on a ball and see what happens.
But don't you see a problem with that? I mean, underneath the ball that you're pouring water on is a gigantic ball with a hell of a lot more mass and a hell of a lot more... Well, yes,
how do you know that?
There is.
how do you know? How did you figure that out?
Well, that is what you're trying to prove, right? Or disprove.
No, you're making a wild claim there. Hold on, that's what I'm saying. You've gone a bit farther. You're saying there's a bigger ball underneath us. Where did you get that from?
That's your Achilles heel, isn't it? Your Achilles heel is that you were trying to disprove the globe by pouring water on a globe that potentially may be sitting upon a globe, right? So potentially you could be sitting on a ball because you don't know. So you're going to test it. So you get a little teeny ball and you pour some water on it. But the fact that the water dropped off the end of it actually proved that you do live on a ball because there's more of an attraction to the globe underneath than there would be to the ball you was pouring the water upon.
Where's all this coming from? Attraction? Where are you getting this from?
Did the water go boom boom?
What are you... Can you be more clear? Let's stick to my steps. First step...
Did the water fall off the ball and go down?
Down where?
The floor.
Well, it depends on what the medium it's in. Not always, no.
Did the water that you poured on the ball go down?
No, because it was underwater.
Well, Kimo, what medium is keeping the water? What medium?
Wait, Kimo, I thought you poured water on a ball. Are you telling me you're performing this experiment while you're in water, so the water fell in water? So
Yeah, so this was red-coloured water. So I poured that onto the ball, and the red-coloured water, the dye, didn't stick around the ball. It didn't go down like Ranty said. Where's he getting this attraction from? What are you talking about?
but it went underwater, though.
It went everywhere. The red dye just went in all directions, everywhere.
But it went underwater, so you performed this experiment underwater.
So I had the red dye in a jug with a lid on. Yes, I had a basketball underwater. Poured the red dye. It was cold water, and cold water goes down. See, and then I poured it on the ball, and the red dye just went everywhere.
Well, first of all, I'm not sure if you understand that, but there's already factors playing into your experiments, so you have to put
no, but Ranty said, in a much more controlled environment. You poured water on a ball, but where did the water go? And I was like, well, it depends on the medium. I did it underwater, and the water didn't go down. What are you talking about? In fact, I used warm water, and the warm water rose. So what does he mean?
But the problem is that the experiment that you performed it on had so many other factors contributing to it, like you said, you were underwater when you performed it.
I'm going to go by what Ranty was saying here. I said that I poured water on a ball. He didn't ask where the medium was. He assumed there was an attraction. I was like, whoa, where'd you get this attraction from?
So let me ask you then. Do you have a video footage? Because I've just skipped through the video that you actually claimed that this is where you performed this test. Don't see that there. So have you got a video footage of you actually doing this?
I haven't, no.
Or have you just made that up? No, you just made that up.
No, I've done that. I just didn't record myself doing it.
So you made shit up, basically.
No, you didn't ask about the medium, did you? You assumed.
So why? All right, so let me ask you another question then. Why would you go to the extent of, doing what you did, the test that you did, putting a ball underwater and pouring water on it and going to all that extent without actually filming it? Don't you think that would have been something useful to actually put out to the community? Or
it was tricky to get the camera in position.
In position from where? Where were you trying to film it from?
Floating away. I couldn't get it to stay still.
Floating away. So you had the camera. What kind of camera was it?
It was Canon.
A Canon what?
Let me get you the specs.
No. Yeah, but what kind of camera was it? Was it a waterproof camera?
Yeah. I'll get you the specs now. Yeah, hold on.
Yeah. What? No. What? No. You must know what it was. What Canon? What? Where did you actually perform this test? What was the what was the control? I mean, were you in a swimming pool? Were you in a bath? What was the setup?
I'm gonna tell you now. I'm just getting the box so I can have a look.
No, you don't have to worry about the box. Just tell us about the setup. I'm not bothered about the camera right now. Just tell us about the setup.
So, I went into the water in a swimming pool.
Under the water in a swimming pool, right? Okay. Yeah. So, which swimming pool did you go to?
Oh, I can't tell you that exactly, can I?
Okay, and they allowed you to walk in there with a basketball and some cameras, and you were going to put the camera under the water in a swimming pool with children swimming.
Oh yeah, my cousin's a lifeguard.
And they allowed you to walk in there with a camera in a swimming pool.
When it's closed, he allows me to go in whenever everyone's gone.
Okay, so you went into the water when you went into the swimming pool when everyone was gone, and the guy that works there allowed you to pour some liquid into the swimming pool.
Yeah, because they had to change the water. He told me when to come because they change the water every so often. So I asked him, I said, look, can I do this experiment? He was like, well, you can only come at this time when we're about to change the water. That's why he allowed me at that time. So I did the experiment that they changed the water, you see? I think at the end of the month.
Okay, so first of all, hold on. I don't think he understands what he's saying. I actually don't think I understand what he's saying. The only time they actually change the water is if the water is filthy green.
Yeah.
So just go with it. He's making up the story. Just go with it.
Yeah, so it's my cousin.
He's making up the story, so he's not even worth talking to.
I told him to try to listen. My cousin, so I said, look, I got an experiment. You change the water, and he was like, no, we can only change it if it's dirty. I was like, well, can you sort something out? And then he did what he needed to do, so we get the experiment done.
Okay, so
I know,
let me
but
ask you
the
a
problem is
question.
that your cameras
Okay.
wouldn't be able to record what was being done because the water is filthy green.
No, it wasn't
Exactly,
actually filthy green.
But then,
Okay,
then
so
they wouldn't need to change the water.
Right, my next question is going to be very simple. Why would you run the
They're
risk
different here in England.
of your cousin losing his job in the swimming pool with not changing the water changing the water because it wasn't unclean?
Well,
so
he's the
basically, that was
manager of the
against
place. How he's the chief lifeguard.
So the
He runs the place.
so the manager, chief lifeguard, the manager, right? Okay, so what is it, the chief lifeguard or the manager?
Same thing. He's the head honcho.
So he's the so he's the chief, so he's the manager and the head
I
lifeguard,
wish
right?
you guys had this many questions when it came to NASA.
So why didn't you, in thinking about this, actually perform the test in a bathtub?
Because I wanted to make sure the ball was fully submerged.
In a basketball would fit underneath a bathtub. A bathtub would actually be able to submerge a fully inflated basketball.
Yeah, but I wanted
So
to be
my question is, why would you run the risk of letting your, cousin run the risk of draining the entire swimming pool to only refill it and have to put all the chlorine back in and everything like that at great expense for you to run a test that you could have performed in your bath?
Yeah, I said a swimming pool.
A swimming pool, yeah.
Yeah.
Seriously, I don't see any point
Just
for
a
this
family swimming pool in the garden.
The point is, we're just letting Kimo spout his bullshit because
It's just a family swimming pool in the garden. What do you think of a public swimming pool? What are you talking about?
We don't live on the basketball. Listen,
right.
I posted a video.
And you went to this extent. Pretty large swimming pool in the garden. No big deal.
Kimo,
and you
I
didn't
posted
record
a
it.
video. I posted
And you didn't
a video.
record it.
I said I tried to
Come
record
on.
it, but the camera was all over
guys,
the
one at a time.
We don't
One at
care.
a time, guys. Let's take it.
No, enough with this silliness.
I said the camera was all over the
Let
place.
Kimo finish and hang himself. That you guys don't understand what's going on here. You let
I understand
I'm
what's
walking
going
Kimo down the line here. Kimo is
Yeah, I know.
literally just. Well, guys, if you want to ruin this, that's fine. I'll just step away.
Listen,
Who the fuck's talking now, anyway? Who is this
Me,
guy?
I'm talking. You talked enough.
So
I
yeah, you're
posted
just
a video.
interrupting.
I
the
posted a video. Yes, I interrupted the silliness. What Kimo did, he lied.
Who
I don't
cares
care.
whether you think
I
it's
don't
fucking?
care.
I don't care. Fuck
Kimo
off, you
lies
dickhead.
daily.
Do one.
Yeah. So I posted a video. Of a
Nobody
granny-
cares about your fucking video.
Guys, look, the Globers are fighting.
Go ahead, Randy.
Thank you. Jesus Christ. Kimo was on a leash there, and I was walking him down a path. I was
Hold on a
exposing how
second,
much
don't mute
bullshit they come up
Chikey.
with,
It's an open
right? I was
platform.
literally just going to lay it all out, and this idiot
Yeah.
jumps in and interrupts.
No,
You're
no,
not
no.
allowed to speak.
It's
Not a one-on-one.
Fair enough. I'll
Kimo,
step
I
away for a
posted a
sec.
video of a granite ball
Mhm.
rotating, and it's wet.
What?
What the
You've been muted again, Chikey.
First, don't unmute. I do.
Why have you
instantly.
muted him for? What was the reason?
You know what the reason is? 2 minutes is the reason.
What
That's
did
the
he
reason.
do wrong?
It didn't do anything wrong. 2 minutes is the reason. Stop doing that. You know it's obnoxious. You know
All
that you don't like
right,
when
let's
it's
wait for
unmuted.
2 minutes then.
I'll unmute him
Well,
now. That's all you have to do is ask me nicely.
I'm
instead of
like,
being
what did he do? He was talking, making
What
a
he,
point.
what he did was someone had to get muted because otherwise they were just going to fight indefinitely.
One of
So I
you?
picked arbitrarily.
One of you.
Okay, well,
Picked
regardless,
arbitrarily
let's
between one of us.
let's allow Rancy to see if he wants
I'm
to finish.
usually very short in what I say. I said I
fair enough,
posted a
but-
video of a granite ball rotating and is all wet, Kimo. So yes, water do stick to balls.
What was the force?
Let's
Keeping
see
it on the ball.
Force? Why you say force? Water stick to the ball, Kimo.
How? What was the force?
Who says there was a force?
So how did he do it then? What was the reason?
Well, I don't know.
Oh, you don't know.
It found its level.
Okay. No force. Good. Learning.
Let's see if Rancy wants to finish his come to the conclusion of where he was leading.
Well, let me just get a
So
quick
within a
drink then, and we can get back into. But yeah,
So-
pretty
so
much.
your
This is pretty
experiment-
much where
your-
I'm at. So you make an observation, see the flat horizon, double, triple check force, pour water on the ball. That doesn't work. You think, right? Well, let's go and ask a surveyor, and let's see if it measures flat. And he says the water measures flat. That's good enough for me, unless someone has a measurement of curvature, or a force, or an observation of curvature. What more do
Listen,
you need?
Kimo, you
got all three, Kimo.
science because I show you that a ball can hold water.
Yeah, but
So
we don't
you
know
did
why.
something wrong, obviously, because balls can hold water, and that's the end of it. Balls hold water.
Yeah, that's the magic.
Okay, can
Balls
I
don't hold
interrupt?
water.
Can I interrupt? Talk to Ranty about the Blackpool picture photo.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay, Ranty, are you there? Ranty?
He might be on a smoke break.
Oh, so he is a smoker. I'm not sure about that.
Yeah, he smokes every once in a while.
Okay. But if he can talk
He's
to me,
deafened.
then
He is deafened, so he can't hear you.
okay. But if he can hear me and listen,
He can't hear you. He is deafened. He is deafened. He cannot hear you. He is
he's deaf.
unable to hear you because he is deafened.
Okay, he's deafened. Okay, I understand. Yes.
Let it out,
Okay.
Johnny. Let it out.
Yeah. But I don't think he can talk to me anyway, so he knows.
Send him a text message.
Somebody can say to him, take
What? We
Take him
will
off.
send him a text message.
Somebody can text him and say, "Hey, hello, Johnny wants to talk to you."
You say hello.
Just type in the chat.
He'll be. I just texted him and he said he'll be back in 5 minutes.
Okay, 5 minutes. Okay, you can talk. That's all.
Whoa!
But I will
Everybody
talk.
wants to take out KIMO and take KIMO down and show KIMO to be. This is amazing. This is all day we've been.
It's not
focusing
difficult, Kimo.
So the base.
It's
the
not
base
any.
when
It's
you're
not because of like.
investigating-
I'm not being arrogant or anything like
No.
that. The fact
Yes,
is that
you
we
are.
have the truth, right? We have the truth on
Kimo,
our
it's
side.
not. Well, Kimo, you do have to understand that, right? That you're the only one person here who is making this ridiculous story about how you were performing this experiment and underneath water with a basketball in a dirty pool, so you couldn't record the experiment to begin with.
Yeah.
And then saying that it's for an open pool, then your cousin or whatever.
Yeah.
Had to, I don't know, like it doesn't make any sense and doesn't provide any relation. You're literally just wasting our times.
Well then, ask
With this long-winded
tell
story.
you're gonna have to train Ranty to be a little bit more. I don't know. More. I don't know what he needs more of something.
Inquisitive.
Because obviously, he's facing me, which is not an easy task, right? If you're gonna
because you're an ultimate
if you're
bullshitter.
gonna challenge me on the shape of the earth, you're gonna have to be very keep at the top. Keep at the top.
No.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what he did. It's not what you're doing. You're literally wasting everybody's time on making this extremely long-winded story in order to prove the
wasting your
Earth is flat when you literally can't record the experiment in the first place.
Because he's wasting your time by asking silly questions.
Look,
Now remember,
Kimo, you're
He
first-
asked legitimate
funny.
questions and provided silly answers.
If
So
we're
you
having an
literally just.
intelligent, honest conversation that is intellectual,
Which
when I
is-
tell
but
him,
you're not. But you're not.
when I tell
But you're
him,
not participating in that.
when I tell
Kimo,
him,
you're not.
Because
You've
you're
been
applying
honest. You're in
long-winded
a day in
when
your
I
life,
tell him
sir.
I observe flat, I tested with the water on the ball, and then the surveyor said it was flat, then his response should be, so you poured water on the ball. He should start explaining it doesn't work like that. He should start explaining how
So,
it works.
Kimo, I'm responding.
And
Kimo,
then
I'm
back it up with
responding.
an experiment. That's how it should
Yeah,
have been.
I'm responding directly to your claim. You said you did an experiment and it showed that water can stick to a ball. And I showed you your experiment sucks because water can stick to a ball. And then you went to the surveyor, which you shouldn't because water stick to a ball to begin with. And you asked him if the earth is flat, and he says he pretends that earth is flat. Didn't say that earth is flat, and you bring it as some proof. Two things that are one, bad science, and second, a lie.
So you think water can stick on? You think?
Yes. See my video. Go back and look at my video.
Oh, I don't see it. Do you have it in the text chat? No.
Yes, it's in the texture. You just need to go up some.
Okay.
So it wasn't me that was wasting the time. If Ranty had said, okay, if that's what you think means,
You're wasting time now, Kimo, because I showed you your science is wrong. Why you talk about Ranty now?
Because you're talking to John about your sticking to a ball.
No, he wanted to see water stick to a ball, and I directed him.
Okay, so wait till he's watched it. When he gets back, he'll talk about it with you.
Where is the fucking video? I don't...
Looking for the video, Chikey. We're trying to have a conversation here. What's wrong with you?
Oh shit! I don't find it.
Just for you, Johnny, I posted it again.
Okay, do it.
So, like I said, I put forward how I understand the Earth is flat, and then Ranty, if you're honest and not wasting your time, Alex, would have said, okay, now that's incorrect. This is how we know we're on a ball.
Yeah. But the problem is that the problem is, Kimo, is that when you provided the reason how you did the experiment, which is what I was talking about, and then you wasting everybody's time, is you literally provide this extremely long-winded story that doesn't make any sense when actually under the minor bit of scrutiny. So
he said
I
you
don't
poured
understand,
water on a ball, assuming assuming it was.
But you're the one who
atmosphere.
did the experiment, who did this, which by the way is I'm
it
guaranteeing you didn't do.
I don't find it. Have you posted the video?
Yes, I posted it again.
So because he assumed it was done in the atmosphere, he didn't think.
I'm looking at Einstein.
Stop redirecting this towards the person who was debating. This is about you, no one else.
Yeah.
And I don't care about what the other person did.
I'm saying if I pour water on a ball underwater, will the water fall down?
But the problem is that the experiment the experiment in which you gave, which there's already so many different factors contributing, and so the experiment automatically itself can't be performed correctly.
What are those factors?
Two, the story that you gave for the experiment literally does not make any sense under the minest bit of scrutiny. Okay. So literally, you're the one here is wasting everybody's time.
So what are those factors then?
The fact is that it was underwater and that it was in a green pool, which you couldn't even record the experiment even if you wanted to. And by the way, if the pool was green, they wouldn't just get rid of the water; they would literally just clean it. They wouldn't get rid of dirty.
What if it wasn't green?
If it was green, you would be able to record it. But Kimo, it doesn't matter. The water was dirty, so i.e. the water is green because that's the only way a pool, I imagine for public use, can get dirty like that.
What if it wasn't green?
And if it wasn't green, you should be able to record it, but you said it was dirty because they had to clean out the water.
Okay, but what if it wasn't dirty?
That's not the point, though. You said it was.
Oh, yeah, fly.
But I'm saying, what if it wasn't dirty?
Well, I don't care what it is and what it isn't. We're talking about what you said. I don't care what is and what isn't. I care about what you said. You said that the pool was dirty, so I heard it when you did this experiment, which, by the way, if you actually think about that, you're an idiot for trying to do this experiment in the first place because you're not even able to record it.
But you said it was dirty. I said it wasn't dirty.
You're the one who said, you said it was, though, because they had to clean out the water.
No, I said it wasn't dirty yet. They were going to clean it out after
it was
the experiment.
Super dirty. You said it was the dirty.
Okay, Kimo. Why on earth would they clean out a clean pool?
For the experiment.
You said it was dirty.
I know, but the problem is that why would on earth would, first of all, two reasons. A pool company or a public place of swimming would not let you just pour dye in there and then get rid of all the water. And by the way, they wouldn't get rid of all the water. They would put in like chemicals in order to fix what happened with it. This is literally how they clean pools.
Well, that's what happened.
I've never seen that here.
Well, then might I suggest your regulations in your country, wherever you're from, are bad.
You guys are just thinking too much.
No, the point is that Kimo have no evidence he ever did any experiment.
Yeah,
we have experiment that show that whatever experiment he didn't do it right.
That's under the impression that he even did the
reason to
experiment
go
in the
to a
first place.
surveyor is false from to begin with. You shouldn't go to a surveyor because water sticks to balls.
Psych, your video is not showing anything, so what's the about?
Shows a wet ball, Johnny.
I'm watching.
And ball that it's wet.
Video now, I
water
don't understand.
sticks.
What it will prove? It prove anything? What's the
It
about?
proves that water sticks to balls, Johnny.
And you wonder why we go to the circus when Chikey's talking stuff like this.
Wat zeg je?
You wonder why the whole thing is a joke.
Mine, Johnny.
When Chikey's saying, "Oh, we've got a ball and the ball's wet. Look here, this is how the Earth works."
I didn't say that's how the
What are you bringing it up
It's a
for?
pretty good analogy considering how thin the oceans are.
Because water don't stick to balls. Water
Okay,
do
Chikey,
stick to
good
balls.
one,
You
good
shouldn't
one.
go
That's a
to
very
any
good
surveyors
point.
and ask it.
You've just proven the globe with your water sticking ball. Wow, good job, Chikey.
Mhm. Right.
Hey, it's a pretty good model considering how thin the oceans are
model.
compared to the surface compared to the Earth volume.
It's
probably pretty close, actually.
Yeah,
There is no Earth.
Yeah, there is an Earth, actually. You're standing on it.
No, I'm standing on dirt.
Yeah, it's called Earth. Unless you're on Mars, like I always expected you to be.
Well, if Earth is dirt, if Earth is slang for dirt, wouldn't there be Earth on Mars?
It'd be Mars.
So you'd dig up some dirt and you'd be like, hey, I got some Mars.
I got some Mars. Yeah, I got some Jupiter.
Jupiter's a gas planet.
Well, you could get some though.
You wouldn't be able to stand on it.
Not all the way through. There's a solid center.
I mean, yeah, but wouldn't that be like?
You get some
wouldn't that be
Venus
like
too, but
home?
you'd probably be crushed and burned at the same time.
What about Venus?
Be crushed and burned at the same time.
We love the lore of space.